So for this flight response, I want to start with just saying that with any of these, actually, what's helpful is if you can start to really be able to feel in your body specifically what is happening. So I'm going to give you some ideas, but the best is to kind of feel in, and it's like, okay, what's happening here? Oh, my heart rate's really up, and okay, what else do I notice? What else do I notice? Oh, it's like there's like this restlessness in my legs, right? Or there's like a tingling in my feet. And that can start to prompt us, oh, what do those restless legs seem to want to be doing? What's the movement they're seeking? What are they wanting to do? What are those feet, that awakeness in the feet? It's like, oh, they kind of want to do this. Oh, and then interestingly, wow, that starts to look like running, right? And so, sure, if you want to take a break in your day and get up and go for a bona fide run, that's great, but you might not be able to do that. You might have something going on, or you might not be in the physical condition. You might have an injury or be in a physical state where running isn't your thing, but you can probably, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us can maybe, we're already seated in a chair, or we can get seated in a chair, or we ambulate from a chair. And those of us with the ability to move our lower half, to move our legs, we can generally get to this place where we can just kind of paddle our feet. You can't really see them, but I'm actually picking my feet up off of the ground. And I'm just going to let this go until I'm tired. So for you, it might be a couple of seconds, maybe a few minutes. I tend to have a lot of lower leg strength, and I have a lot of energy in my lower body. And especially when we are in this flight state, we have lots of energy there, and maybe it gets expended pretty quickly, and maybe it takes a while. But I'm just going to go until my legs are satisfied. They're still happy to be running. Yeah. You get the idea, though. I might stop them for the sake of this video. And then at the end, what I really suggest is that you really feel, take a minute. My legs are so awake right now. There's tingling in my feet. There's a lot of warmth in my thighs. And what I'm noticing, so you really want to take the time, don't just go on to the next thing. Oh, I did my leg paddling. That's more like an exercise. Okay, I checked that off the list. We're not doing that. We're actually going to feel, we're going to let the effects of that be noticed and to kind of sink in. So I'm sensing what's going on. And as I sense what's going on, what I notice is that I had a lot more nervous, or a significant amount of nervous system activation prior to starting that than I even realized, because now my breath is just naturally dropping down here. And it's slowing down, and I want to yawn. And yawning is part of the nervous system shifting from one side to the next, or one branch of the nervous system to the other, the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. It's a really good sign. I love it when my clients yawn. It can mean other things too, but oftentimes it's that shift. The nervous system is shifting. So you get the idea there. You can really let the legs just relax. The other thing that can be nice is the option to do that same thing. You can do this after or instead of the rapid running in place or running in chair. Is just, and you can play around with the speed here. You can see that I'm slowing it down. And boy, in a way that kind of engages the muscles of my legs. I can really feel the muscles in the backs of my legs, under my glutes. And this really changes it. And for some people, this is going to be a lot safer. This is going to feel a lot safer than that full out kind of run. And then you might have to go even slower and maybe even making it smaller. So you're just lifting your heels up and pushing into the ground with your toes. There's different reasons for this. What actually brings the nervous system down for a particular person at a particular time. One is that if we have a history of trauma, sometimes running away would have made the situation worse. So it can feel scary to allow the body to really do what it would have liked to have done. This is a good kind of a thing to work with a somatic psychotherapist around. So you have that safety to reset the nervous system around old traumas. But you don't really have to know why one thing works for you or feels better for you than another. You're just noticing, oh wow, I did that and it actually made me feel more panicky. Okay, don't do that, do something else. This one, oh okay, when it's slow, it makes all the difference in the world. Okay, my lungs really like that. Yeah. So I'll just say one other thing that is related to that. My legs just sort of want to do some sort of heel pumps, I guess they're called. If you're a person who experiences a lot of anxiety, especially if that anxiety really manifests physically, sometimes we can get drawn to forms of exercise that kind of keep us in that same defense mode. So you might be a flee response kind of a person who is drawn to running, marathon running, or running really fast or running a lot. And that can actually keep us locked in a certain mode. What I find for a lot of the people that I've worked with is that actually doing weightlifting, weight training, or just, I'm going to show you a couple things in here in just a moment. You don't have to go to the gym and weight train. You can get the same effect just from a chair at home with your own body. And the reason for that is sometimes that weight or resistance really allows our bodies to get in touch with the fight response, and it can be a lot more settling to the nervous system to learn a different pattern than to keep doing the same one. It's almost like for some folks, it's just like they just keep running away. I'm still running away, I'm still running. But to be able to stay present and stand the ground, and I'm just talking about the feeling of what some of these somatic techniques engender or produce now. So let me show you. So a really good, another good somatic practice for the flight response is this isometric pressing. So I'm pressing my legs out into my hands and I'm breathing. This is very important to breathe. If you hold your breath, it changes everything. If you hold your breath, then you're staying in that sympathetic nervous system place. So you're locking that in place. So you really want to allow yourself to breathe fully. And as I'm talking, I'm just letting my breath fall out of my body now. I'm just pressing into my hands. And now I'm going to switch. And I like to cross my arms because it's easier on my shoulders and my arms. And now I'm pressing in with my legs and out with my hands. So I'm really giving my legs some pressure. So at the very least, your breath is natural as you're pressing. if you want to, though, you can also release your head and neck, or at least your eyes, so you're just kind of taking in your environment as you're pressing. So this is adding on the orienting response along with the pressing. And it might be that the combo is magic for you, or it might be just that one or the other really does the trick for you. I'm going to go back to this one, just pressing out into my hands. Really see if you can stay with it until this one's a little hard because the legs tend to be stronger than the arms, so the arms get tired. So you can find other ways of really engaging the weight-bearing muscles of the legs. There are some yoga postures, for example, that are really helpful with this one. So or a deep lunge. I guess runners call it a deep lunge, but this one can really, really help engage those lower muscles of the body. And you're breathing. Again, just really breathing. A good technique for me is just always checking in with my mouth and releasing my mouth, because that's where I start to hold my breath. My mouth closes, and I tend to hold my breath. So I'll just release my mouth and jaw a little bit. Let my soft palate relax. So you get the idea there. Those are just some techniques for you for the flight response. I hope that's helpful, and the next video will deal with the freeze response, which in some ways is a combo of what we've done so far, but that I will also introduce some new somatic practices for